Tung. Published by Marxists Internet Archive. 27. Criticism and self-criticism. The Communist Party does not fear criticism because we are Marxists. The truth is on our side, and the basic masses, the workers and peasants, are on our side. Speech of the Chinese Communist Party's National Conference on Propaganda Work, March 12, 1957, First Pocket ed., page 14. Thoroughgoing materialists are fearless. We hope that all our fellow fighters will courageously shoulder their responsibilities and overcome all difficulties, fearing no setbacks or gibes, nor hesitating to criticize us communists and give us their suggestions. He who is not afraid of death by 1,000 cuts dares to unhorse the emperor. This is the indomitable spirit needed in our struggle to build socialism and communism. Ibid, page 16. We have the Marxist-Leninist weapon of criticism and self-criticism. We can get rid of a bad style and keep the good. Report to the second plenary session of the 7th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, March 5, 1949. Selected Works, Volume 4, page 374. Conscientious practice of self-criticism is still another hallmark distinguishing our party from all other political parties. As we say, dust will accumulate if a room is not cleaned regularly. Our faces will get dirty if they are not washed regularly. Our comrades' minds and our party's work may also collect dust, and also need sweeping and washing. The proverb, running water is never stale and a door hinge is never worm-eaten, means that constant motion prevents the inroads of germs and other organisms. To check up regularly on our work and in the process develop a democratic style of work, to fear neither criticism nor self-criticism, and to apply such good popular Chinese maxims as, say all you know and say it without reserve, blame not the speaker but be warned by his words, and correct mistakes if you have committed them and guard against them if you have not. This is the only effective way to prevent all kinds of political dust and germs from contaminating the minds of our comrades and the body of our party. On Coalition Government, April 24, 1945, Selected Works, Volume 3, pp. 316-17. Opposition and struggle between ideas of different kinds constantly occur within the party. This is a reflection within the party of contradictions between classes and between the new and the old in society. If there were no contradictions in the party and no ideological struggles to resolve them, the party's life would come to an end. On Contradiction, August 1937, Selected Works, Volume 1, page 317. We stand for active ideological struggle because it is the weapon for ensuring unity within the party and the revolutionary organizations in the interest of our fight. Every communist and revolutionary should take up this weapon. But liberalism rejects ideological struggle and stands for unprincipled peace, thus giving rise to a decadent, Philistine attitude and bringing about political degeneration in certain units and individuals in the party and the revolutionary organizations. Combat Liberalism, September 7, 1937, Selected Works, Volume 2, page 31. In opposing subjectivism, sectarianism and stereotype party writing, we must have in mind two purposes. First, learn from past mistakes to avoid future ones, and second, cure the sickness to save the patient. The mistakes of the past must be exposed without sparing anyone's sensibilities. It is necessary to analyze and criticize what was bad in the past with a scientific attitude so that work in the future will be done more carefully and done better. This is what is meant by learn from past mistakes to avoid future ones. But our aim in exposing errors and criticizing shortcomings, like that of a doctor curing a sickness, is solely to save the patient and not to doctor him to death. A person with appendicitis is saved when the surgeon removes his appendix. So long as a person who has made mistakes does not hide his sickness for fear of treatment or persist in his mistakes until he is beyond cure, so long as he honestly and sincerely wishes to be cured and to mend his ways, we should welcome him and cure his sickness so that he can become a good comrade. We can never succeed if we just let ourselves go and lash out at him. In treating an ideological or a political malady, one must never be rough and rash but must adopt the approach of curing the sickness to save the patient, which is the only correct and effective method. Rectify the party's style of work, February 1, 1942, Selected Works, Volume 3, page 50. Another point that should be mentioned in connection with inter-party criticism is that some comrades ignore the major issues and confine their attention to minor points when they make their criticism. They do not understand that the main task of criticism is to point out political and organizational mistakes. As to personal shortcomings, unless they are related to political and organizational mistakes, there is no need to be overcritical, or the comrades concerned will be at a loss as to what to do. Moreover, once such criticism develops, there is the great danger that within the party attention will be concentrated exclusively on minor faults, and everyone will become timid and overcautious and forget the party's political tasks. On correcting mistaken ideas in the party, December 1929, Selected Works, Volume 1, pp. 111-12. In inter-party criticism, guard against subjectivism, arbitrariness, and the vulgarization of criticism. Statements should be based on facts, and criticism should stress the political side. Inter-party criticism is a weapon for strengthening the party organization and increasing its fighting capacity. In the party organization of the Red Army, however, criticism is not always of this character, and sometimes turns into personal attack. As a result, it damages the party organization as well as individuals. This is a manifestation of petty bourgeois individualism. The method of correction is to help party members understand that the purpose of criticism is to increase the party's fighting capacity in order to achieve victory in the class struggle, and that it should not be used as a means of personal attack. If we have shortcomings, we are not afraid to have them pointed out and criticized, because we serve the people. Anyone, no matter who, may point out our shortcomings. If he is right, we will correct them. If what he proposes will benefit the people, we will act upon it. Serve the People, September 8, 1941, Selected Works, Volume 3, p. 227. As we Chinese communists, who base all our actions on the highest interests of the broadest masses of the Chinese people, and who are fully convinced of the justice of our cause, never balk at any personal sacrifice, and are ready at all times to give our lives for the cause, can we be reluctant to discard any idea, viewpoint, opinion, or method which is not suited to the needs of the people? Can we be willing to allow political dust and germs to dirty our clean faces or eat into our healthy organisms? Countless revolutionary martyrs have laid down their lives in the interests of the people, and our hearts are filled with pain as we the living think of them. Can there be any personal interest, then, that we would not sacrifice, or any error that we would not discard? On Coalition Government, April 24, 1945, Selected Works, Volume 3, page 317. We must not become complacent over any success. We should check our complacency and constantly criticize our shortcomings, just as we should wash our faces or sweep the floor every day to remove the dirt and keep them clean. Get organized. November 29, 1943, Selected Works, Volume 3. Pages 160. As for criticism, do it in good time. Don't get into the habit of criticizing only after the event. On the question of agricultural cooperation, July 31, 1955, 3rd ed., page 25. Taught by mistakes and setbacks, we have become wiser and handle our affairs better. It is hard for any political party or person to avoid mistakes, but we should make as few as possible. Once a mistake is made, we should correct it, and the more quickly and thoroughly the better. On the People's Democratic Dictatorship, June 30, 1949, Selected Works, Volume 4, page 422.